2,000 years, the people of Asia and the Pacific used art to document their histories, record their cultures, worship their gods, and to pay homage to their ancestors. From the powerful temple sculptures of India to the delicate strokes of the Chinese alphabet, art from Asia and the Pacific has always been as diverse as its people. A lasting legacy to enrich us all.
The choice is yours. Use it and vote.
Mr. Republican, Mr. American, I present my friend Bob Taft.
1952 was Senator Bob Taft's last hurrah. Once again, a good loser at the convention, this time to Dwight Eisenhower. 4 times Bob Taft was a serious contender. 4 times he failed to win the nomination.
It's an end-of-the-year celebration for the smart guy.
Don't make me go to a kid party.
Thinking about buying a foreign-made car while in Europe? Well, the U.S. government has made it easier to ship it back to the States. The restriction against shipping a foreign-made POV at the government's expense has ended. You are no longer required to submit a request for an exception to policy for shipping a foreign-made POV. The vehicle must meet American safety and environmental standards. Any additional inquiries must be made through your transportation office.
Euroguide, things to do and see in Europe. It's open-air theater season in London's Regent's Park now through September 2nd. The actors perform plays for adults and children, and vendors are standing by with food and drink. Hamelin, Germany hosts their annual Pied Piper of Hamelin parade every Sunday through September 11th starting at noon. There's no better place to see a Greek play than in Greece. The Athens Festival through September 8th features Greek plays and musical performances at the foot of the Acropolis.
AFN Thursday.
During the Civil War, a spy worked every day in the Southern White House, right under the nose of Confederate President Jefferson Davis.
I agree, General. Move the troops further north. We'll need reinforcements.
Elizabeth Bowser, a former slave, was asked by her employer, Elizabeth Van Loo, to spy for the Union Army. When she overheard conversations, she would pass on the information to another servant. Those around her assumed Elizabeth was illiterate, but in fact, she read dispatches and orders whenever possible and passed the information on to General Grant.
Your suggestion on moving troops from the west is good.
Though she risked her life daily, Elizabeth Bowser served undetected throughout the war as a Union spy in the Confederate White House. She's another example of the many brave American women who have served their country in time of war.
And more.
One final note before we leave you this evening. The U.S. military is facing a shortage of buglers to play taps at funerals. So, DOD is calling in the reserves, so to speak. Congress has passed a law allowing a recorded version of the song if a live bugler isn't available. Families of honorably discharged veterans are entitled to a 2-person uniformed honor guard, a presentation of the U.S. flag, and the playing of taps. So, military posts and funeral homes across America may soon be playing the solemn song from a compact disc. And that's the news for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Up next on AFN Europe, Everybody Loves Raymond. For all of us here at AFN in Frankfurt, Germany, have a great evening.
You're watching the American Forces Network, a service of AFRTS.
Tonight on Pacific Report, the dangers of huffing and making sure planes are ready to fly. Good evening and thanks for watching. I'm Air Force Sergeant Debbie Decker. The war on drugs has raged on for more than 2 decades. Educating the public about drug abuse has been a major part of this battle. It's no secret anymore about the effects of substances like heroin or cocaine. But one drug problem isn't as well known, and as Airman Joe Andes reports, chances are you have this drug in your home.
Huffing. It's one of America's fastest growing drug problems and one of its deadliest.
This is one of the most dangerous substances that we can place into our bodies.
The substances used by huffers are known as inhalants. They are ordinary household products like computer cleaners and edge dressing. Even though these products are legal and easy to get, they're just as deadly as anything else on the street.
Huffing is on the same level as crack cocaine abuse in that you can die from the first dose or the 100th dose. You never know.
Huffing is deadly and spreading rapidly. One study reports that the number of new inhalant abusers has doubled from 400,000 in 1991 to over 800,000 in 1999.
Huffing is very widespread. Unfortunately, it doesn't receive the same attention from the news media that alcohol, cocaine abuse, steroid abuse gets.
Experts say awareness is the key to fighting inhalant abuse. If people know just how dangerous huffing is, the number of new huffers may drop. Airman First Class Joe Andes, Okinawa, Japan.
The Marines of VMFA 211 fix or fly the Harrier. Marine Corporal Matthew Kell reports on the last person that checks the aircraft and makes sure it's ready to fly, the plane captain.
Specially trained Marines work on the different areas of Marine Attack Squadron 211's Harriers, but a few of the Avengers Marines have to have an understanding of all the jet's systems. These Marines work in the power line section and are called plane captains.
What the plane captains do is they ensure the aircraft is ready for flight. When the pilot walks out to the aircraft, that plane captain has thoroughly checked out the aircraft, made sure it's ready for flight.
Plane captains are the last set of eyes that guarantee a Harrier is safe to fly. Lance Corporal Jason Richardson, a 211 plane captain, said this is a big responsibility, but rewarding.
Knowing that the pilot trusts me as a plane captain when I sign my daily or my turnaround card, that this jet's good to go for him to fly, he can trust that it'll come back.
This responsibility is not overlooked by the 211 Harrier pilots.
The pilots trust those Marines to sign the aircraft safe for flight. And that Lance Corporal is, by signing that aircraft safe for flight, is saying that that pilot will go out on his mission and come back safe and sound.
He has to trust you, you know, that he's going to make it back safe. It's very rewarding to know that somebody can trust their life with you.
This trust is based on a mutual understanding, a Marine's life. Corporal Matthew Kell, AFN News, Marine Corps Air Station, Iwakuni, Japan.
Just ahead, worship on a ship. We'll go aboard USS Blue Ridge and meet the chaplain. That story's coming up after a look at your Pacific weather forecast. Marines are promoted based on factors like job performance, physical fitness, and their conduct. But the ability to shoot a rifle is also important for promotion. Marine Corporal Jeff Camp introduces us to someone who helps Marines get on target.
In the Marine Corps, every person in every job is expected to be able to do this, and do it well. In order to do that, Marines spend 1 week every year practicing without ever firing a shot. That's where Marines like Lance Corporal Nathan Betke come in. He's a marksmanship instructor.
Re-get your natural point of aim before you start firing.
He spent 8 months on Okinawa helping good shooters stay that way and poor shooters get better.
Yeah, we've got the most people in the highest qual rate in the Marine Corps right now, so if you're in the cock leg, they both have to be facing the same direction.
Betke has to know the different shooting positions inside and out and the procedures for shooting a rifle correctly. He also has to know how to deal with people. He's worked with groups of nearly 100 before.
He's definitely knows what he's talking about. He gets out there, he's confident.
Shooters, you may commence firing when your target appears. Targets.
He always feels good when one of his shooters achieves an expert rating. It's the highest of 3 Marine marksmanship levels.
That's not really that big of a deal. It's more like if you can get a shooter that's been going UNC or shooting marksman for quite a while to improve his score or possibly even shoot expert.
Although Betke spends a lot of time preparing his students, it's up to them when they get out to the rifle range and shoot for real. The tips and encouragement he gives them, though, will help these Marines do better when it comes time for an extra stripe, or maybe even become coaches themselves.
Your prep time has ended!
Corporal Jeff Camp Foster, Okinawa.
Some Navy ships are large enough for sailors to attend church while they're underway. Chaplains deliver multiple sermons for a variety of denominations every week. Specialist Daniel Day introduces us to the chaplain who performs the sermons aboard USS Blue Ridge.
May Almighty God have mercy on us, forgive us our sins, and bring us...
Chaplain Patrick McCormick says religion is a big part of many people's lives. Some Navy ships do not provide regular church services. USS Blue Ridge does. On Sundays, the ship's library becomes a place to worship. The chaplain, Lieutenant Commander McCormick, fulfills an important need for his shipmates.
I think having a church services on board the ship really helps our sailors to practice their religious faith.
Attending church aboard ship allows sailors to continue a tradition that's always been part of their lives.
It's very important for them to maintain contact with their roots while in the military, whether at sea or on a land base, and one of the most important roots that any person will have will be their religious heritage. So we try to maintain that as much as possible in their lives, and the military does a great job of trying to maintain that.
Blue Ridge sailors can also discuss their religious views in a group setting or one-on-one with Lieutenant Commander McCormick. The Navy chaplain tries to help any shipmate who needs it.
As a chaplain, you deal with everybody, be they religious or non-practicing. You just try to help all of the troops in any way that you possibly can, while you provide religious services for your own particular group.
Blue Ridge sailors might need that help. For many, the 6 months away from home is psychologically and spiritually difficult. Church service gives them an escape. They can practice their religion even in the middle of the ocean. Specialist Daniel Day, AFN News, underway with USS Blue Ridge.
Still ahead, Girl Scouts on Okinawa get some help. We'll show you how when Pacific Report continues.
Iwo Jima. An extinct volcano that happens to sit within bombing range of the Japanese mainland. In February 1945, we needed the airstrip on that volcano. It took 4 days to reach the summit, known as Suribachi. It took 2 more weeks to secure the island. And it cost more than 6,000 American lives. The Battle of Iwo Jima, an event that helped shape the outcome of World War II.
Renowned as an essayist, public speaker, and philosopher, Ralph Waldo Emerson was one of the moving forces of the Transcendentalist movement in America in the 19th century. A philosophy which believed in the divinity of man and nature and the supremacy of intuition over reason and perception as a source of knowledge. His ideas on self-reliance and individual freedom had great impact on a young nation. But nowhere are his words better remembered than those etched on the base of the Minuteman statue in Concord. He wrote, "Here once the embattled farmers stood and fired the shot heard round the world." Few words have ever been more prophetic or true than these by Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Americans stationed overseas may now be able to take a nice vacation for a little less money. The Armed Forces Vacation Club is available to service members, even people stationed overseas. The club offers vacations at resorts around the world for a greatly reduced price. It's open to active duty and reserve, retirees, and DoD civilians. Vacationers can choose from the list of resorts on the club website, then call the company to make arrangements. The club suggests that those interested check the website often, since the list of resorts changes daily. The web address is www.afvclub.com. Kids from Matsugi, Japan helped out a homeless shelter in Yokohama. The kids are involved in a program called Helping Hands. Specialist Daniel Day shows us how the students found an efficient way to feed the homeless.
The fifth graders keep busy when they make rice balls.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
They take the job seriously because they're working for a good cause.
We're making rice balls to feed the homeless in Yokohama.
Teamwork is necessary. They split up into different sections, each with its own job. One group separates the seaweed, called nori. One group forms the rice balls, and the last group counts and packages the food. The job is not without its hazards.
It's really sticky, and when you try to wash it off, it just stays on.
The hundreds of rice balls they make are worth it, though. The children learn a valuable lesson.
Just helping other people and learning to care for other people.
Their efforts help numerous people. Shirley Lanham Elementary School hosts 3 rice ball making sessions each week. They package nearly 1,000 every 7 days. The children have fun, too. Teachers say they're happy for the opportunity to help people less fortunate. The Helping Hands program gives them that opportunity. Specialist Daniel Day, AFN News, Naval Air Facility at Tsugi, Japan.
The Girl Scouts are pretty good at selling cookies, but they needed some help moving them. Marine Corporal Jeff Camp explains.
Before the Girl Scouts could sell you these cookies, they had to get them off this truck, all 26,000 boxes. So they asked for help, and cookie lovers like Tech Sergeant David Percy answered happily.
Everybody loves Thin Mints.
He usually spends his morning shuffling papers. This time it was do-si-dos and peanut butter patties.
Thin Mints, come with the lights. Do-da-do-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I didn't ask David what kind of paperwork he does, but after watching him zigzag boxes of cookies every which way in an orderly manner, I would guess shipping.
Hey, the come with the lights, come over here. Those come over here and the blue ones go over there. I'm just loud, that's all. That's the way. Keep it rolling, baby. That's the way.
Or maybe he's just hungry. Stacking all those boxes is enough to give anyone an appetite.
Where's the guy that was saying this isn't a lot of cookies when we first got here?
He was probably eating his words instead of cookies. Watching everybody work together made David think about something. He even said it to one of the Girl Scouts.
If people could just work together like this side by side all the time, it would be a beautiful world. It really would be.
It would be tough to get the world's leaders together to unload a truck of Girl Scout cookies. Maybe they should, though. All they need is some common ground. And like David Percy said, everybody loves Thin Mints.
Is that it?
Corporal Jeff Camp, Kadena Air Base, Okinawa.
And that's a wrap for tonight's newscast. Thanks for watching. I'm Air Force Sergeant Debbie Decker. Have a good night.
We'll have an improvement in the weather with mostly sunny skies.